Hey everybody, Mr. Wagner here. Right in front of you, you have Flappy 3 running. You can see that the base is moving. Flappy 4, we're going to work on the pipes. Okay, let's get going. Okay, so our pipes, if we were to look into our project, we have pipes, and in here I have two files. I have pipe green lower and pipe green upper. So upper is the upper pipe and the lower is the lower pipe looking up, okay? So anyway, we're gonna see if we can blit those onto the screen so we can use them, okay? So very similarly to how we did our background and our foreground, we need a sprite for our pipe. So let me go ahead and copy the background class. And we'll come down here right before Pygame init. We'll hit Control V, and we're going to create a class here called pipe. Okay, and then all of this is very sort of similar skeleton code for creating a sprite. And this is our class, so this creates the object. Now we need to create two instances of the object. One is the upper pipe, and the other is the lower pipe. So let's go down to where we create instances. And, and right here is about where we would create instances. Okay, we have base equals foreground, blah, 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 or background equals background, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we need to have that for two pipes. We're gonna say something like this: up pipe equals pipe, because remember, pipe is the name of the class. And on line 60, notice how I did this OS path join blah, blah, blah. I'm going to put that right inside the constructor because I don't really have to create it like this. I can sort of stuff those together just like that. See how that is? And now I need pipe green upper.png. So pipe dash green dash upper .png, and I'm going to set a place to draw this. Let's draw this at 200 comma negative 100. Now the negative 100 means I want to start drawing it negative, like above where my screen is, so it goes off the top. Okay, so that's the negative 100. That's why it's a negative number as opposed to, like, you know, 0 or something. Okay, so that's the upper pipe. And then let's go ahead, copy this. You'll find copy paste, you got to do it in coding. And I'll do the lower pipe, so I'll call this down pipe. And we are going to do lower, okay, and we'll do 200 comma 300 because we want the top of the lower pipe to be starting at the 300 level, okay, the 300 pixels down. Okay, so that created our two instances, up pipe and down pipe, but now we need to draw those. And to draw those, we blit them just like everything else. Okay, but let's talk about where we want to blit them, okay? If the first thing we draw is the background, and then the second thing we draw is the base, then if we do the third thing, we draw the pipes, we're going to draw those pipes right over top of the base, okay? So where we want to draw our pipes is in between background and base because we want the base to draw over the bottom of the lower pipe. Okay, so let's go right here and let's draw our pipes. Okay, so we'll just do a screen blit, Command C, Command V. Okay, screen blit, but what are we drawing? We are drawing up pipe, and we're using the up pipe rectangle, okay, and then we are also drawing our down pipe. Okay, so our down pipe, and using our down pipe rectangle. Okay, and you gotta be careful when you cut and paste, because sometimes you'll, like had I not changed that downpipe rectangle, then I would have drawn both pipes on over top of each other, and then that wouldn't have worked. So, use copy and paste, but you need to be detail oriented enough to know that all the little things when you copy and paste need to be changed. Okay, so let's run this. And sure enough, now we got a couple things going on. For one, the pipes are not moving. And for two, I want you to notice that our pipes have this slight white outline, okay? White outline. Now, you're probably like, well, what gives, okay? And if I look at my pipe, like if I look at lower pipe, I mean, I don't really see the white outline, but that's because I'm on a white background. So what's going on there, let me run that again just so you can see it. What's going on there is those pixels that are to the right and left of the pipe, they are actually transparent pixels, but Pygame does not know that they're transparent pixels until we tell them that those are transparent pixels. And .png files have the ability to use transparent pixels, but we need to tell Pygame that there are transparent pixels in there to use. Fortunately, it's not a big deal. So let's scroll up here into our pipes. And line 42 right here, it says self.image equals self.image.convert. And we're going to just change this .convert to .convert underscore, oops, I didn't type that, underscore alpha. Okay, so self.image.convert underscore alpha. And in computers, sometimes they call that the alpha channel. The alpha channel on a image is the transparent. So you can have like red, green, blue, and then alpha, meaning how transparent something is. Okay. Let's see if it works. So we hit run, and voila, our little white lines are going. Now that's really going to come into handy when we have our little bird flying around and stuff, because he definitely has an alpha channel. Otherwise, you would have this like rectangle moving around, and it really wouldn't look very pretty. So, okay, let's close that. Well, let's not close it just yet. We want to get these pipes to move, okay? And to get the pipes to move, remember our rectangle where we're drawing this has a left and a bottom and a right and a top, has all those different fields that we can use. So if we change the left a little bit less every frame, then eventually it'll get to 0 and it'll move, okay? And then once it gets to 0, then we need to reset it such that it starts moving across again. So let's take a peek at that. We are going to need an update function to be called to actually move that rectangle, okay? So let's scroll down to where we drew our pipes, okay? Here's where we drew our pipes. And if we type in up pipe.update, okay, because we need to update the up pipe and we need to update the down pipe. Okay, and now let's scroll up to where our class for our pipe is, and we are going to type in def update. Okay, and we do something like this. Let's see here. We're going to type in self.rect. Okay, that's the rectangle of the object. Dot left minus equals 1. Okay, minus equals 1. And we're going to say if self.rect.left, oops, is equal to 0. Do we want that? You know, let's say if the right side of it, okay, we can actually use the right side of that pipe. If the right side of the pipe is 0, that means we've gone all the way off, right? Then what do we want to do here? We want to say self.rect.left equals self.rect.width, okay? So the width of whatever it is. And let's just say times 10. So we're just going to scoot it way over the side. And then it should come rolling back in, okay? Let's run that and see what we got. Okay, so, wonder why that did not work. Okay, let's take a look down here. What we did is we drew our pipes, but we didn't update our pipes because we updated them up here where we drew this. Okay, so we need to move these 2 lines of code down to the bottom. So let's Command X and we'll put them here where they belong. They belong in the game loop. Otherwise, things don't move. Okay, so this should work. You know, sometimes you just got to figure things out. Run. Okay, now we're moving, and then when that goes off, they should come around in just a few frames. Here we go. Look at that. There they go. Whee. Okay, very good. All right. Yeah, so that was a problem there. We need to do the updates after we do our blitz, and not when we've actually created the objects. Okay. All right. So that's it for Flappy 4. And have a great day, and we're going to get on to Flappy 5, where we're going to draw multiple pipes. All right, bye.